Mr. Madhukar Yakshi of the Congress Party and Mahesh Jetwalani. Now there are two ways of looking at it, legally and in terms of propriety. Actually, whichever way you look at it, Mr. Yakshi, the government stands exposed. The Congress Party is supporting the government, knowing fully well that the government stands exposed on the Colgate cover-up. Why are you doing it? Why are you allowing all the people across the country to have a perception that irrespective of even what the Supreme Court of the country says, you've become so brazen that you will give the Law Minister of India such a long rope?
Arnav, first of all, I don't agree with your comment of cover-up. There's nothing that government is doing in a cover-up here. Mr. Honorable Ashwini Kumar ji, a distinguished lawyer, you know what he is doing. He knows Constitution better than me. He is a very senior lawyer. And whatever he has done within the purview of the Constitution, it is up to the court to decide.
Then is the Supreme Court wrong? In that case, is the Supreme Court wrong? Are you questioning, the observations of the Supreme Court?
Neither I'm commenting on the comments of the Honorable Judge. There was not a judgment yet. The Honorable Supreme Court asked for an affidavit or a comment at what circumstances the Law Minister or made or recommended certain changes, or those officials at PMO or Coal Ministry. So it is still a sub judice, I know very well. We have not seen the order yet. So let's hold on to that. And secondly, here let me make it very clear. There's nothing that government stands cover up. No, I don't disagree. Let me quickly give 1 minute. If CBI completely working under government, how the same CBI investigating another cabinet minister? How the CBI arrested those other cabinet ministers' nephew? If it is so completely under control of the government,
Now let me ask you. That is a hypocritical argument. 1 second, Mr. Madhukar Yakshi. What kind of argument?
You have a right to say that. That's a fact.
And say 1 minute, Mr. Madhukar Yakshi, 1 minute. Madhukar, watch it. On the one hand, I'll now turn the argument around. On the one side, the CBI is such a pliable CBI, such a compromised CBI, such a Congress-leaning CBI, that the CBI is even changing the status report at the behest of your ministers and your additional Solicitor General. Why should I trust that same CBI tomorrow to investigate Pawan Kumar Bansal? The same compromised CBI you wanted to investigate Pawan Kumar Bansal, so I can turn that argument around and throw it back at you, Mr. Madhukar Yakshi.
Well, you've been giving credit.
When you want...
You should give a credit to the No, but there is a logic and there is a factual situation here. You should give some respect to the CBI. If it is so controlled by the government, why will a government will allow same CBI to investigate our own minister?
But yeah, we would respect the CBI if the CBI were not to be a caged parrot.
If it is investigating, if it is in whatever
caged parrot with political masters, in the words of the Supreme Court, not mine. I want to get in Mahesh Jetwalani in, who's heard your initial observations.
I don't want to make a comment on the comments of the Honorable Judge. Let's wait for the judgment.
Please, Mr. Jetwalani. Mr. Jetwalani.
It's obvious that the Congress has decided, in the wake of so many scandals that it is beset by, to brazen it out. Their only answer is going to be, and congratulations to them for having won Karnataka, is that ultimately the people are sovereign. We go by popular sovereignty. So forget standards of morality, forget what the Supreme Court observations or strictures may be. We are going to ultimately be determined by what the people decide at the hustings. And that's going to be their answer. You're not going to expect them to respect any institution, because the history of this country has shown that essentially, starting from the emergency or maybe even a little before that, that the Congress basically doesn't respect our institutions at all. They are hell-bent on subverting them so long as they can survive in power. So we should not expect too much. The response of the Congress is predictable. Any other self-respecting government with a modicum of moral sense would, after what happened in the Supreme Court, a blatant lie now exposed by a contrary statement of the affidavit of the CBI and the Attorney General, would have realized that something is terribly rotten in the state of affairs. But if they don't want to do it, You can't drag them. I mean, you can appeal to their moral sense, but if they have none, let it ultimately be a battle at the hustings.
Why?
That's what democracy is all about.
Will it matter at the Battle of the Hustings? Let's get a panel in on this. Hartosh and Ajay Bose.
I think, Arnav, I think that is what I feel, that Congress is making a mistake of reading the Karnataka polls and thinking that this is somehow going to wash away.
You think they're doing that?
Wash away. Yes, I think so, because otherwise it makes little sense that at least they should, today evening, by this evening, there should have been a sense of urgency,
Hartosh,
in dealing with Supreme Court observation.
Hartosh.
No, I think the damage is incremental with each new charge against the Congress and the UPA. It adds up in the public perception of the kind of administration that has been running this country. And I think that is going to tell at the election.
But you think, Aarti Jairath, do you think the strategy is going to work?
No,
and what are they playing for?
No, absolutely. You know, if we read the Karnataka elections, the rejection of the BJP was not just on the issue of corruption, but also on the, and more seriously, and this is something everybody is saying, on the issue of misgovernance. So if we look at what's happening at the center today, what we're seeing is misgovernance as well. The law minister is changing, a report that the CBI has prepared. Cabinet minister is, the railways minister is misusing his office to appoint people. So, these are all misgovernance issues.
Question
And
to Madhukar
surely the
Yakshi.
same thing that happened in Karnataka could
to,
play out at the national
other question
level.
which comes to my mind, Navika, is that, at the end of the day, the Supreme Court has also made very, very strong observations against two joint secretaries of the Coal Ministry and the PMO.
That's right.
My question is, one, you don't want to act against your ministers for political reasons, okay, fine. But at the same time, you are also setting a dangerous trend that even if the Supreme Court of India questions the actions of top bureaucrats, there will be no action against those top bureaucrats if there are political interests that come in the way.
But it's not just...
That's one of the concerns.
It's not just about the bureaucrats, Arnav. It's also about the Prime Minister's office. And the Prime Minister was the coal minister for the period that this was being considered. The fact is that we have always believed that this is a clean Prime Minister. That was his USP when he was made the Prime Minister. The big question is, somewhere between 2004 and 2013, that tag of the Prime Minister, despite being eroded, the man himself is not reacting to it, neither is the party. Madhukar Yakshi, is it a calculated gamble that you are playing, that you will stick on till 2014, and because the BJP is in shambles, you'll be able to pull this across? Or are you really running out of options?
Absolutely not.
If there was ever a time for the Prime Minister to address the nation, this is the time for the Prime Minister. He can make a defense, but he can't hide. He should come to the people of this country and tell them Prime Minister should make an address to the people, and whatever his defense is or whatever his mistakes are, he should have a candid conversation with the people.
Madhukar Yakshi, many questions put to you. Before I go back to Mahesh Jetpalani, do respond.
We have the utmost respect for the Parliament and the institutions like Supreme Court. We were open. The Honorable Prime Minister open. We were ready to discuss in the Parliament. Are we in a parliamentary democracy or not? So why the opposition are afraid to discuss in the Parliament? If we've committed a wrong, they could have an opportunity to expose this in the Parliament, which they don't do it. They're just obstructing the Parliament. Second, we have a great respect to the Supreme Court and everyone should respect it. Let's wait until the July 10th. We have the in the principles of national justice.
No, July 10th means what? No, the heart of the report has been changed.
You should give an opportunity. You should give an opportunity which the Honorable Supreme Court gave it. The Joint Secretaries and Honorable Law Minister has an opportunity, given an opportunity to explain their stand, why they have recommended those changes. So you can't make a judgment on the comments made by the Honorable Judge. Let's wait until the July. Let the Honorable Minister and the officers reply to this Honorable Supreme Court.
No, are you saying today? No, then tell me today. No, tell me today, Mr. Madhukar Yakshi. Mr. Madhukar Yakshi, are you going to say on national television, we don't care about public perception? We don't care not just what the Supreme Court is saying, but what the people think.
We respect public perception, public judgment right from Karnataka to anywhere else. And what we are saying is, are we in a parliamentary democracy? Why these things to be discussed? Why we discuss in the parliament? Do you expect to go and discuss in every village and every town in the country? Isn't parliament represent the whole country or not? Is it parliament represent the whole country or not
Mr. Jethmalani is responding. Let him respond. Yes, sir.
We are in a parliamentary constitutional democracy, and if the Congress spokesperson right now is alluding to the BJP's boycott of Parliament, there are two views on the matter. The party leadership has decided to boycott it. Now, I can't speak on a question of tactics. This is for the highest echelons of the party to take a decision. But I am going to be very frank today. I do feel that after some time it becomes a little counterproductive to boycott Parliament on a permanent basis. This is a personal opinion, it's not a party opinion, and I really believe that you can say that the Congress is subverting Parliament, that its leader incites its members to heckle opposition leaders when they speak, all that. But there are remedial measures which you can't say that Parliament doesn't have a remedial measure, because implicit in that is that one party is capable of completely destroying that institution. And I don't believe that any political party with the vibrant press and an alert population that we have now, I don't believe your candor. I don't think that with the vibrant, I think it's I want to.
Jethmalani was a more important player in the BJP, so that he could say this to his colleagues, more senior colleagues.
The Jethmalani Senior and Jethmalani Junior, and I'm saying this to Jethmalani Junior in his face, are far too independent-minded, to follow the straight and narrow of what the party says. I think it's in a democracy, it's good for it. Jethmalani Senior was critical. Jethmalani Senior your father walked into a BJP parliamentary affairs meeting and gave them an earful, and today what you're saying, I think it's something that the BJP should also think about. You may have a good point, but if you make it in a bad way, you'll end up spoiling your own argument. However, Hartosh, I don't think we can let the Congress off the hook on this one.
No, absolutely. I mean, there are two separate issues. This issue, whether it is debated on Parliament or not, is a question of the kind of government you are running.
Yeah.
Whether it is debated on Parliament or not, there is an accountability here to the people of this country.
And that's what Mr. Madhugar Yakshi, the question to you is really that the BJP will not allow this country to get any answers from you in Parliament, but when the Supreme Court makes its observations, you will disregard it and only give it date after date after date. So where is the accountability to the people going to come from?
Navika, under the Constitution, you should give an opportunity, if you are accusing someone, the opportunity to explain. The Honorable Supreme Court given an opportunity to the Law Minister and the officers, here in this case, an opportunity to explain their stand. So let's wait until their explanation and let's wait for the judgment.
I know very well, you can't discuss pre-judge before the judgment comes.
And Mr. Mahesh Jethmalani, lawyer himself, he knows how distinguished lawyer Mr. Ashwini Kumar is, and I'm sure he has every answer for action which he has did it. He has, as in politics and as a lawyer, he has impeccable record.
Well, Mr. Jethmalani, respond.
Well, listen, as far as I made 2 points. A, we're a parliamentary democracy, and I'm willing to accept the criticism that we are carrying the boycott of Parliament too far. On the other hand, we're also a constitutional democracy. And long ago, this Congress government should have got its law officer, its law minister, and now Mr. Bansal to have resigned. Mr. Bansal, of course, has no strictures from the Supreme Court, but that can't be far coming, let me tell you. As far as today's observations are concerned, you are thick-skinned if you think that the Supreme Court, even by its observations, has not passed the most damning censures against you, and you are only thick-skinned, and you do not believe in constitutional democracy. You all pretend to be lawyers, but you are actually, even the lawyers among you, are defenders of the worst kinds of crimes, constitutional crimes,
you're a lawyer yourself. Many
the worst
times,
kind of constitutional crimes, and you will repent for it. You will repent at the
or you wait for the judgment, or you work on the based on the comments. Do you act on the comments? Mr. Jethmalani, you are yourself a lawyer.
But
Honorable judges make so many comments while cases.
Judgment day.
That is a specious argument.
Is there an order?
That is a specious argument.
Comments not matter?
You should run a scroll saying Mahesh Jethmalani says BJP wrong in boycotting Parliament.
1 minute, I don't want to override things. Aarti Jairath is very incensed.
Yeah.
1 minute on the debate. Aarti Jairath and Rashid Kidwai.
No, do the comments from the Supreme Court not matter? I mean, the Supreme Court has made some very stern observations. Shall we just ignore them?
I didn't say it's not mattered.
Not part of the judgment.
Please listen to me. Please listen to me. We didn't say that we don't respect Honorable Supreme Court comments. But the same Honorable Supreme Court given an opportunity to the accused, you are saying, and explain their stand, why they have done or why they have recommended.
No, who's the accused?
How can you decide without even listening to? Principles of national justice dictate that.
Who's the accused?
You didn't give an opportunity to law minister to explain in the parliament. You didn't have an opportunity. You didn't give an opportunity to law minister to give file an affidavit in the Honorable Supreme Court and to prejudging it.
Call the law minister
How that is fair? How that is
fair? Do you want to revise your position?
Why didn't you give an opportunity to law minister to speak in the parliament, neither to the prime minister? You didn't allow that. How that is fair? You didn't give an opportunity, isn't it? What does principles of national justice say?
Mr. Madhukar Yakshi, the argument today is not technicality. The argument today, allow me to complete, Mr. Yakshi. The argument today is only one thing. It's propriety. Rashid Kidwai, is propriety dead? Is propriety also dead?
Arnav, we are seeing a practical, pragmatic side of Dr. Manmohan Singh, the way he got this nuclear deal vote, the fact that he served under 5 years under Narasimha Rao. It's very clear that Congress has lowered that bar of morality, and we're going to see more such instances where the Congress party would not care so much about public perception.
Okay, now I want to. I'm running
out of time. It is same public voted for UPA too. It is the same public voted. You mean to say that? Are you insulting the whole public who voted for us?
Well, I am now going to. A big thank you to Mahesh Jethmalani and Madhu Gaur. I'm sorry to end this wonderfully warm conversation between the both of you. I thank every viewer for your viewership. I thank our wonderful panelists and to our very astute political editor for taking us through this whole panel. And on behalf of everyone here, it's been a pleasure bringing you every part of this Result Day Live. What a day it's been. What a tumultuous day. What a newsy day it is. At the end of the day, the only thing that I'd like to leave a thought with on your side, do you think bit of the Congress party's victory has been blunted? Or a lot of it has been blunted by what happened in the Supreme Court? Have they responded in the right manner? On the other side, a very, very interesting panel discussion that we had earlier today, which if you missed, will give you several new perspectives on what happened in court and the implications of that. That is in 2 minutes. Our continuous coverage is still going on the other side, and I have had a great time bringing the election news and all the other news to you all through the day. I'll see you soon, ladies and gentlemen, on the other side, the big panel discussion. Good night and goodbye.